Welcome to the class. I am Shamna Menon, Faculty for English, St. Mary's High School, HD Kote, Mysore. We are going to experience the life of children at Shanti Niketan in the words of author C.F. Andrews in Lesson 1. Before that, as a precursor, let's understand true learning illustrated through a simple story with a message in it, because ideas are easily felt as tales. Sangappa is a farmer in Prasadapura. He got his son admitted to a nearby school. That school was a bit different from other ones, and it was located in an ashram. Sangappa went to the ashram one day to see how his son was getting on. He opened the gate and went in. What he saw surprised him, for there were no classes. Students had freedom to go wherever they liked. At a distance, some students were reading books, trying to get by heart some questions and answers. He looked around for his son. A greater surprise was awaiting him, for his son had been sitting on a tree watching the birds singing. Also, he was trying to draw the birds in a book. Sangappa went straight to the headmaster's office. He said, "I'm sorry, I thought my child was learning. But look where my son is. I'm really sorry, sir." The headmaster replied quietly, "Well, Sangappa, I too feel sad, but not for your child, but for those bookworms," and pointed towards the kids trying to memorize the answers. Sangappa could not make out anything. He said, "Are you joking, sir?" "No," said the headmaster. "Your son is studying nature and he is learning, but those kids are not." So the idea that the story drives in is learning is not only reading books and memorizing the answers, it is to be experienced and understood. Dear students, I hope by now you all have understood what is real learning and how not to learn. Now we move to the experiences of the author of the lesson, C.F. Andrews, in a similar ashram known as Shanti Niketan, where he had chance to stay. Let's get to know something about the author. Mr. C.F. Andrews was a priest of Church of England, an educator. He was a freedom fighter in the sense that he acted as the voice of Indians. Naturally, he became Mahatma Gandhi's closest friend. He was widely commemorated and respected in India. In 1971, India issued a commemorative postage stamp to mark the birth centenary of Andrews. Now, let's get to know about this ashram, which the author is so vocal about. Shanti Niketan is one of the outstanding creations of Rabindranath Tagore, the great writer, artist, songwriter, educationalist, 1913 Nobel Literature Laureate. It was here in 1901 that Tagore founded a school, and in 1921 a university, the Vishwa Bharati, that became a nerve center of Bengali culture with a focus on the arts and humanities. University and school continue largely to follow Tagore's principles today, with around 10,000 Indian and international students. Now, let's begin the journey to the author's experience of the ashram. He says, "Words cannot picture to the beauty of Shanti Niketan. It's difficult to describe, but more to be felt. Our own teacher, who we call Gurudeva, has named it in his song, The Darling of Our Hearts. Gurudeva here is none other than Rabindranath Tagore. The ashram, as Gurudeva has mentioned the ashram as, the darling of our hearts, in a song that he wrote. And the author, in due course of his stay, has felt that the ashram is worthy of the simile. All who have visited the ashram, old and young alike, have felt its inner beauty growing more and more upon them. Anyone who visited the place, irrespective of age, be it old or the young, has invariably felt the beauty of peaceful ambience. If I were to describe to you one day in the ashram with the boys that would perhaps best bring home to your inner beauty. Andrews proceeds to describe how the boys spend their day in the ashram. He feels that would be the best way that he could impart the audience with the feel of the way of ashram is conducted. Long before sunrise, like the birds in our own Amloki groves, our boys are awake. Just like the birds in the group of gooseberry trees, the boys in the ashram wake up early, even before the first rays of sun. The choristers are the first to rise, and they go around the ashram singing the morning hymn. You can hear the voices of the distance drawing nearer and nearer, and then the sounds dies as the choir passes on to another part of the ashram, and then it again comes nearer and nearer. The beauty of the sound in the silent morning air and the sense of joy and reverence which it brings give peace to the soul. Here the author describes the peace of mind which he experienced when he happened to hear choristers sing beautiful hymns in the silent morning air. Dear students, that's all for the day. We will continue the rest of the passage in another day. Meanwhile, here are some question and answers from the passage. Please go through that. For question number 1, why did Sangappa feel sad? Sangappa felt sad because he thought that his son was learning, but when he saw his son, he was sitting on the tree and watching birds singing. What was his son doing? His son was sitting on the tree and watching the birds singing. Third question, what was the headmaster say about learning? Answer, learning is not only reading books and memorizing the answers, it is to be experienced and understood. Then at last, assignment number 1, does learning mean only reading books and preparing the examination? Write down your views.